Welcome to Key Tech. Please describe this channel if you are interested in today's video. With its outstanding Korean chips, Huawei has become the only one that can compete with Apple in China's high-end smartphone market. This not only demonstrates Huawei's outstanding innovation capabilities in the field of smartphones, but also reveals Huawei's strong strength in chip design. There is no doubt that Huawei's rapid development in chip design has aroused concerns in the United States. In order to curb the development of Huawei and Chinese chips, the United States has joined forces with TSMC, Samsung, ASML, and other manufacturers to pursue and intercept Chinese chips. TSMC did not hesitate to abandon Huawei, its second largest customer, and turned its back on American chips. What Zhong Zhongmo didn't expect was that the rapid development of China chip helped Huawei's Korean chips make a strong comeback, directly tearing off the fig leaf of TSMC's advanced manufacturing process. TSMC wanted to dump chips to mainland China, but it was no longer popular. Huawei has torn off the fig leaf of TSMC. TSMC is the world's leading chip foundry company, accounting for more than 50% of the world's chip foundry business, twice the market share of second-ranked Samsung. The main reason why TSMC is able to beat the world is that it has mastered the most advanced process technology. Today, TSMC and Samsung are the only two manufacturers in the world that have mastered the 3 nanometers chip process technology. TSMC has a better yield rate in the 3 nanometers process than Samsung, and it also started mass production of 3 nanometers chips earlier. The world's first 3 nanometers chip order was also given by Apple to TSMC. TSMC has always been pursuing advanced manufacturing processes, and basically updates its chip manufacturing process every 1 to 2 years. It can be said that it is far ahead in the chip manufacturing process, and other manufacturers except Samsung can basically only catch up. But what people didn't expect was that Huawei tore off TSMC's fig leaf, proving that the introduction of TSMC's advanced processes is not that meaningful. Not long ago, Huawei Mate 60 was released. After disassembly and testing in laboratories in the United States and Western countries, the industry generally believes that the performance of the Kirin 9000's chip equipped in Mate 60 is close to or reaches the 7 nanometers process, and it is still produced by domestic manufacturers. What is even more surprising is that a Japanese research institute recently stated that the Kirin 9000's chip is actually a 14 nanometers process, but due to the higher transistor density, it can exert the performance of the 7 nanometers process chip. Judging from the usage performance, the performance of Kirin 9000's chip has surpassed Qualcomm's Snapdragon 8 Plus chip. The performance has been improved after hyperthreading, and is slightly inferior to Snapdragon Gen 2 and Apple's A16 chip. This means that Huawei's Kirin 9000's chip can have an experience close to that of a 4 nanometers chip in hyperthreading. There is no doubt that after these comparative data were released, TSMC's fig leaf was completely torn off. Apple's A17 chip uses TSMC's 3 nanometers process, but compared to the A16 chip, the performance improvement is only about 10% to 20%, but the power consumption increase is close to 50%. As the top chip currently produced by TSMC, after using the sensor, it is similar to the 7 nanometers chip Kirin 9000s after hyperthreading. Even the Kirin 9000's chip may be a 14 nanometers process, so TSMC invests a huge amount of money every year in the research and development of advanced processes. What's the point? Zhong Zhongmo changed his face and favored chips from the mainland. Previously, TSMC chose to comply with the US chip ban and terminated cooperation with Huawei. Zhong Zhongmo also said that it has curbed the bottleneck of China's chip development. Without TSMC's help, mainland China will never be able to produce advanced chips. There is no doubt that TSMC's attitude is very arrogant, but judging from TSMC's current situation, this arrogance is a bit too much. Since mid-June this year, TSMC's market value has been declining. So far, TSMC's market value has evaporated by $77 billion, making it the company with the highest decline in market value in Asia. There is no doubt that after arrogantly abandoning the Chinese market, TSMC's life has not been so easy. After realizing the importance of the Chinese market, TSMC chose to dump chips into mainland China. Previously, TSMC President Wei Zhijia led a team to visit a number of Chinese manufacturers and began to accelerate the shipment of 7 nanometers chips to the Chinese market. There is no doubt that after China chip achieved a breakthrough, TSMC turned around and started dumping chips. TSMC has technological and cost advantages. The cost of chips with the same process will be lower than that of Chinese manufacturers. This means that if TSMC sells chips at a lower price in the Chinese market, it will be difficult for Chinese chip manufacturers to respond. To put it bluntly, TSMC is trying to squeeze the living space of Chinese manufacturers by dumping chips and engaging in price wars. This is also the main reason why many domestic experts and scholars have clearly expressed opposition to TSMC's Nanjing factory plan. To put it bluntly, TSMC will affect the development of Chinese chips. There is no doubt that TSMC is now unpopular, and it is not as simple as TSMC thinks to dump chips on a large scale. With the development of Chinese chips, TSMC's advantages will become weaker and weaker. Nowadays, many manufacturers have doubts about the significance of advanced processes. TSMC has not received many 3 nanometers orders, and the subsequent 2 nanometers chip process is expected to it will be even more uncomfortable.